Hi, friend. Let's talk about transitions today. Transitions are hard. They're very hard. Um, I'm going through a transition in a bigger kind of area of my life right now, and I've reflected a lot on transitions through this particular transition. And let's just talk about how hard that is, how hard transitions are, and some of the things I've learned through this particular one. So, when we're transitioning from one thing to the next, like to me, like what's always been a little extra tricky is kind of feeling like you're in that in between. So, for me, if I make a decision that I'm going to do this new thing or maybe stop doing something. Like maybe I'm like, okay, I'm going to move away from this activity or this thing so that maybe I'm bored of it. Maybe I just feel like it's not for me anymore. Maybe I just want to make space for something new. Like I make that decision in my mind, and then I have to like still live in that space until like it completes in the external world, right? So, for example, um, like let's take a job, like if you have to put in 2 weeks notice or advance notice of some kind, you make the decision to quit your job, but you still have to live and work in that job in that space for that transition period, right? And I'm someone who it takes me a long time to make a decision sometimes, um, especially when it's a bigger decision, just because I'm very like intentional about it. I try to be. So I really think through, okay, like what is it that I really want? Like, and really think through it. And so it takes a lot of energy between like thoughts and emotions just to build up to making that decision. So then when I make the decision, I kind of want to just like poof, be in that decision, like be living in that decision. But it takes a lot of energy to make the decision, and then you still have to like notify people. You might have to have an awkward conversation with someone or send like a breakup email. Like not could be for like a relationship, but like it could be, just, letting people know like, hey, I'm not gonna be showing up to this thing anymore, like whatever that looks like. Um, so it's funny. It's like I feel like I spend so much energy on like the internal prep to make the decision, and then I'm like, okay, now I already like went a one round on this like marathon, and now I gotta like do it again and spend put more energy again towards it to actually let people know of like what I've decided. And then you have to live in that old whatever it is that you're moving away from for a period of time usually. It's usually not just like that, okay, now I'm in this new thing. So I've really struggled with that in the past of like, okay, like maybe like my mind or like, my excitement is like over in this new space, or even just like excitement of like, I'm gonna get some more time back if I'm like, stepping away from this thing. So my mind is already there. And like, especially, I will say too, like this particular transition that I'm going through, I've spent a lot of time really taking the time to like hone in and be even more specific, I think, than I've ever been of exactly where I'm spending my time. And like, if it's not aligned or if it doesn't feel good anymore, for whatever reason, I'm making the steps to change that. And so it's been like kind of a bunch of a little things. And what I found the most hard this time is that um, like some of those little things, it's not like I feel like it's easier when it's like an obvious reason when you're transitioning. So like for example, if like, you need to quit your job because you're moving, like that's something that's easy, like easy for other people to understand, right? But like the things that I've been moving away from more recently are things where it's like they're good in a lot of ways and I still enjoyed them in a lot of ways, So it wasn't like, something horrible or, something I just completely hate. It's things that I enjoy a lot of components, but I was noticing like the components that took my energy away. I was like, I'm not gonna like do that anymore. Like I'm just getting to a point where um, I could say like, oh yeah, like let me stay for all these good things, but I know if I stay there, then I'm just like accepting that I can't have anything that's like 100%, I feel like. Um, so I'm really getting picky about where I'm spending my time. And if it's that one component of this great thing is like draining me still, then it's something that I want to move away from and make space for the thing that is going to be like completely for me at this time. So, these aren't like reasons that are easy for people to understand or that's easy to put in like an elevator speech or like why are you leaving or like whatever. Like it's not as easy to like package nicely in a way that other people will get. And that's just like, something that's at least, for a lot of people and for me for sure is harder to um, explain. Like you want people to understand. Like I feel like that's a pretty basic human thing, but maybe it's, more like certain types of people feel this way. But I feel like overall people want to be understood, right? So it's been interesting to really work through these things and be like, okay, like, I need to do what I need to do. And I can't make anyone understand something. And I also don't need to over explain, right? So it's just like finding those ways of like, okay, how do I let them know what's going on, or, what I need or what I'm stepping away from, whatever it is. And also, not worry about it. Like I just need to do what I need to do. So, so again, it's like, you spend the energy making the decision, and then it's like all of these conversations, especially when it's not something that someone can easily understand. That takes a lot. That takes a lot of energy, a lot of focus, a lot of intention. For me, it's been taking a lot of internal work um, to really like sit with myself and sit with like the feelings coming up and sit like for every single decision or every single conversation of like, okay, I know I want to do this. Like, why is it hard for you right now to like to say that to someone, right? And so that's led me to like just discovering other like parts of me that I feel like I get to address, and that's part of what brings me to like just let's talk about like the amazingness of transitions, because I feel like in the past, at least for me, it was like transitions are just so hard. But like in in a more negative way. And this time around, I'm feeling and I'm really noticing all of like the amazing lessons and blessings that come from being in a phase of transitioning away from something just to give more space or transitioning to something. So, yeah, just having gratitude. I know it sounds so simple, but that in itself has been really helpful. And like, as you're going through this transition with all those lessons I was kind of talking about, like, I feel like when else do you have a chance to really hone in on some of these things? We get very comfortable usually in our routines and our life. So transitions, like I'm very grateful for the lessons that they get to bring up, some of the harder feelings, some of like the realizations of like, okay, like this is making me feel a little stuck, or like, yeah, making me feel this emotion that I'm not sure where that's stemming from. And so it just opens up so many more opportunities for that personal growth, that internal work. Um, so like I love being in this phase for those reasons. Excuse me. Um, Still have like allergy things happening, so my throat is not like the best at the moment. But but yes, so like having those lessons, like it's just like it truly is amazing. Like I don't know that there's really any other time where it's like you're facing so many things or at least like so many things at the same time. And it really is an opportunity just to like move through some of these things. Like, I don't know, for me, I'm like, I'm like, if I'm doing the work, I would rather just like do all the work and like just get it done in terms of like the internal work, which obviously we're never done with like working like internal work. There's always like things that come up in different seasons of life, different things that you learn in different seasons. But like for me, I kind of like the fact of like, okay, like yeah, it's like it's a lot, but you know, hey, might as well like deal with it now and like really help myself free myself up for that next stage. So, so I do see it as a really cool opportunity that's not an opportunity that you really get too much in other seasons of life. So, and then along with that, like something I've really felt into is just being so comfortable with that juxtaposition. And I'm not, I don't feel like amazing about it all of the time, but feeling comfortable overall or getting more comfortable overall with feeling into that juxtaposition of old life and new life, basically. So there's the old life or like the old thing or the old person or environment or situation that you're transitioning away from. And then there's the new thing. Again, maybe it's something like defined already, or maybe it's just like having more time now, or you know, almost like an absence of something. Like you don't have anything to directly replace the thing that you're leaving, but um, so like the new is just like having that space. So, oh my goodness, so sorry. Hopefully, I'm not bumping the mic too much. Um, but yeah, so with yeah, so I'm like, I gotta find my train of thought. Yeah, so gratitude, and like figuring out like, yeah, embracing like that juxtaposition, with uh, with the like kind of having to live in the old life, right? Um, for me, what I've found is truly leaning into gratitude has been very helpful. Um, for me, the hardest moments and something that I'm battling with this week, and this weekend specifically too, is like the tasks or the things that are part of the reason that you're leaving that thing. So, so for me, like facing things that I still need to do or still need to wrap up that are part of the reason why I'm leaving, like, oof, like I just want to be done, right? Like I've made the decision, like I'm not like doing these things anymore. I'm not, you know, I'm finding like a new way or I'm doing a different thing where I'm not gonna have to do this anymore. And but I still have to do it. Like that decision has been made and I'm making all the moves I need to make towards that, but there's still a period of time where I have to do these old life things, right? And so, whew, like it's hard in that moment sometimes. But like what I'm learning is taking it again as like we have like the life lesson opportunities or like the internal work opportunities, but then also to me it's just an opportunity as well of kind of embracing um, like yeah, embracing like the future self that you want to be, right? So you're kind of, you could call it like kind of like manifesting or, just bringing in your higher self or like however you want to look at that. But for me, it's just like kind of trying to find ways of like, how do I bring that new into the old, like while you're still in the old. So, like when you're like something that I'm trying, like when I'm dealing with some of the things that I have to finish that I really don't want to do, I really want to be done with, it's like, okay, like how can I treat this like something in the new life that I'm excited about? Okay, so for example, like paperwork is something that like I have to do, and it is like one of the things that has been especially hard for me, um, like a little bit more recently as well. And something new that I'm stepping into is being a bit more creative, having a YouTube channel, like just exploring some different creative outlets. And so, reframing it as like, okay, like writing is something that, like paperwork is something that I've always seen a little bit more as like a little bit more like scientific or like objective and things, which it is in some ways of what I need to write. But like, okay, how can I bring in like the part that I'm excited about, the new stuff, the creative stuff? How can I bring that in and reframe what I have to do in the old to finish out this phase? So that's one way that's helping me. It doesn't make it very easy still, but it's helping a lot, honestly, with truly bringing in, okay, what is that like kind of new energy that I'm bringing on with this transition, and let's bring it in now, even when you're in like the old. And just finding ways of doing that, and it's just about reframing, and reframing and reframing and trying to figure out a different way to reframe, basically, because it's not easy ever, for all of the things. But oh, and I also wanted to share just like another lesson, um, like especially for me, like any pretty much any like situation I've been in terms of like career situations, or kind of bigger, I guess, like bigger life areas, like let's say like friend groups, or yeah, like friendships, like relationships, career, like um I feel like I haven't, like for the most part, it's like the people that I'm around, I'm appreciative of. Like, even if it's not like, okay, like these people are going to be my best friends forever, or they're going to be in my life for forever, right? Like, for the most part, I appreciate the people that like I've been around. And so for me, leaning into that feeling in a transition has been helpful as well. Of like, although like some days again I'm just like screaming internally like I've already decided I'm done with this. Like I'm done with this. I want to be out, right? I just want to snap my fingers and have it go away. But like I also want to like pause, like pause yourself, because um like now is the time to really soak in the goodness, like soak in like those humans that you were excited to be around when you first started that job, right? Um, or, people that you've developed more of a relationship with. So for me, it's been a time like making the decision. It's a blessing that you have that time, because otherwise, like if it really was like I make a decision and then you're gone, um, like you don't have that chance to really soak up the good and like um and like kind of get the most out of it. So for me, like, the people I work with are always like the best part of my job, and like paperwork is like one of the least fun parts of my job. Like that's pretty typical. Um, and so really like reframing the parts that's like not as fun, and trying to bring in those new energies with it, um, for like the paperwork example. But then also with that, um, working with the people that I work with, like just basking in it, um, like that's awesome. Like I'm so, so grateful, so very grateful that I get to do that still. And so I get to soak that in while I'm moving on. And so that's, I just needed to talk that out because transitions are hard. Transitions are hard. There's a lot of emotions that come up with it, especially when it's a bigger life transition or decision. Like for me, I'm just like making a decision where, um, or like I'm making a transition where again, I'm being like so specific right now, and I've never been quite this specific before with like where I put my energy. And so, I don't have everything lined up. I don't have things lined up in the way that I might usually. And that's exciting in its own way. But also it is, um, like just new. It's just a new experience for me. And so just really learning some of these lessons of how to live in the in between, like embracing the juxtaposition. It is so beautiful getting to like again just soak in the people around me. Oh, and that reminded me, there is one more thing I wanted to say and kind of journal out here in this video that I've learned. And I want to capture because with like working with people, like another thing is when, at least for me, when I'm in a transition and I'm going to end something, sometimes those, like the good in that thing comes up so strongly that it's like very tempting to be like, am I crazy? Like what, like why did I make that decision? Like almost like or what is it? Not brainwashing yourself, but like almost like gaslighting yourself of like why would you do that? Like why did you make that decision? Right? So like, when I'm soaking in the gratitude of the people and the people I'm around and the place that I'm in, sometimes like it can feel like the beginning of that job, let's say, right? Like at the beginning, where you're excited and you're like meeting everyone and it's like, okay, like I get to work with these people and this is exciting and I just love like just meeting these humans, right? Like for me, that's like one of the best parts of my job is just like meeting the humans I get to work with and just really soaking them in and getting to know them and building those relationships. And so when I'm like focusing in on that and like soaking that up as I'm leaving, it can feel like sometimes like why am I doing this? Or it can be very tempting to um like to backtrack essentially or to cling onto the past. And this time around I'm not feeling it as much because I'm feeling a lot more grounded and strong in like my decision and where I'm going. But like in the past, like past me, that would have rocked me a lot more. And it has in my past of like, you know, like really wondering like, am I really doing the right thing? Or like maybe should I have waited to make this decision? But honestly, like what like life is so short. Like why stretch something out that like this is not for me? Again, even if it's like 10% that's not for you, what if there's something that's like 100% out there that's for you and not just 90%? Like that's the life that I want to live. So, letting go of that 10 or of that 90% that was good, like that's hard sometimes, like in the middle of it. And like you feel those feelings, you feel those things like wanting to grip on, especially when you're leaning into the good and like the gratitude of what was good there. There was a similar transition that I've made a couple years back, like a career transition that like this transition like kind of mirrors that, but it's a lot different in a lot of ways. But like some of the same things have led to me like making the decision to move away from something. And so I've noticed it as like a pattern that I'm like, okay, I'm not doing this, but like I'm not, I'm deciding not to do this anymore. But like in that past, like that kind of first transition, I'll say, um, it was like kind of a back and forth of like I made the decision, I was strong when I made it, but when you're dealing with all the feelings after, or talking to people, or, handling, wrapping up all the things you have to wrap up, and, it's like, did I make the right decision? Or like, you have those questions, those doubts, those, um, I wouldn't, don't even want to say fear. It's more of just like doubt, and just, again, just like that past, like wanting to grip onto you. And like, you kind of have to remind yourself so you don't like gaslight yourself into saying, like, you have to remind yourself of the bad, which sounds bad, but or just remind yourself of your conviction, the conviction that you had when you made that decision. And so that is so important. And I just wanted to share it. Like, that was a lesson that I've learned this time around, of not letting that grip you, because you made a decision. Whatever decision, if there's a decision that you've made, or that you're making, or that you've made in the recent past, like, you made that decision for a reason. As long as it's like grounded and like aligned with like where you want to go in life, with who you want to be in life, aligned with that highest version of yourself that you want to be, like, you are golden. Like, everything else will fall into place. It doesn't matter if other people don't understand. Our humans, nature wants everyone to understand. We want to be understood, but it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you get to stand in your own conviction and move on into like the beautiful new life that you have, with the gratitude for your old life and what has brought you this far, right? And like, so much gratitude. And that is where that transition phase is so beautiful. It's so hard, but it is so beautiful, because you get to give that gratitude back. You get to give that love back to the place and the people that has brought you to this point, that is launching you into your next phase. So thank you so much. I will see you in the next one.